Hey, how's it going, everybody? LinkedIn and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cyber Chat with Antone Matthews. Today, I'm honored to have Aaron on the show today. He is a security analyst, an entrepreneur, and veteran. I can only say so much to give you the introduction, but can you go ahead and let the audience know a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, hey, audience, and thank you, Antoine. I do appreciate it. So, a little bit about myself. I'm a 12-year United States Navy veteran. I've seen the world twice. I've got plenty of stories to share in regards to that, but we'll talk more about my status as a minority, my history, a little bit touching on the veteran side, and then we'll get into technology, which is my big uh, talking point. So, um, 2004, I left high school. Instead of pursuing a career in college sports and maybe semi-professional sports, professional sports, I decided to join the military. Um, so that was right around 2004 after 9/11. So it was a very sensitive subject, and um, I decided to join. Got to see the world, of course. Traveled to places like Europe, Africa, um, Asia, and a few other small spots in between. Loved it, but it wasn't quite for me. I was working long hours. I didn't feel quite appreciated in regards to pay and other things. So I ended up making a transition into civilian world, and I got into what's considered, private industry, and I started working as a duty contractor. So with that being said, I continued my role in the military as a reservist. So I transitioned from active to reserve. And
Not to cut you off. So when you were in the military, what was your role in the military? Like, what was your job?
So touching on my military background, I was an engineer, an electrical engineer of all things. I started that in 2004, went to grade school for it, placed high in grade school for it, and then transitioned into an active role with a guided missile cruiser out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I worked on the the electric generators and then the gas turbines, which are
Mhm.
Lockheed Martin 2500, if I remember correctly.
Sharp, man. That's sharp. So when you got out the military, you said you transitioned into a contract role. Was that more of the same, or what was that like?
So that was a heavy pivot into IT, and that was my first real experience in IT. Jumped into DoD contracting coming out of active duty back in 2009. I also transitioned into the reserves. And reserves, if you don't know anything about it, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year. That's pretty much your active duty stint and your retirement points for that year. So I did that at the same time, duty contracting. I was traveling. I actually took a position as a deployment engineer. So I'd go out to work sites and I'd deploy laptops, desktops, I'd change out hard drives. That does include classified drives. And I touched a little bit of everything in regards to IT. That includes like server management, asset and inventory management, and then working with project leads, project managers, and security managers to make sure that the full site was deployed and secured before leaving to my next project. So, with that being said, I was actually on the flight or on the go 10 months out of the year. So I was only here in San
Oh,
Diego two
wow.
months out of that time. The rest of the time I was spending time at places like DC, Miami, Hawaii, LA. I went
They
to
sound
LA
like all the
several
places I want
times.
to go to. Like, okay.
Um, Japan, went out to Japan. Yeah, it's all part of duty contract. And it was fun, but it wasn't exactly for me. But it did build a good foundation for IT and IT administration. So information technology
Yeah, well,
administration.
I I had a question about that. So you said that once you got out the military, it was like a hard pivot into IT, and then you went into the contractor. It sounds like you touched everything. So you had a well base of knowledge from project management to putting things together. So what was that like? Like, how did you get that role without the prior IT background?
It was surprising, to be honest with you. I got lucky in stumbling on a government related project, the DoD contracting, that focused on taking military veterans and placing them into contract roles
Oh,
to
wow.
fulfill a contract related need. And in this case, it was IT. It was an IT need. Now, with that being said, they gave me 3 months to get a qualification. So I studied up and I got Security Plus for the first time. It was the SY 301 exam.
Oh,
So
wow.
I went, I studied up, I passed it. That gave me a certain level of security in regards to job security. So once you pass Security Plus, CompTIA Security Plus, if you're familiar with it, if you're not, audience, it's fine, look it up. You qualify as a specific information assurance level as a technician and as a manager. So once I got that certification, it allowed me to not only stay on the contract for long term, but I could also work in specific areas of the contract. I also had a government, I also had my military security clearance still active. So that enabled me to work in specific areas and with specific material. Now, with the certification, I would say that the certification was more important than the actual security clearance. The security clearance did not guarantee that hey, I'm going to have a higher paycheck. It did guarantee job security and the sanctity that I was a long-standing part of that project. So that kind of gives you a feeling. So the actual certification would guarantee a little bit higher pay. It would also guarantee job openings, which in turn would guarantee higher. So
Yeah, it's more
if you're aiming
opportunity.
for, if you're looking to get into that industry, anyone from any race, specifically now because diversity and inclusion is such a popular thing, get in by getting certified, get in by pursuing higher education. So past that, my career took me on the approach of healthcare IT administrative. So after transitioning out of that DoD role, I was looking for something a little bit more locked here in San Diego, so I could focus on my wife, who is also she's also minority. She's Mexican, Latina background, so or by birth, not background, right? So wanting to pursue that. I just met her. This is about 8-9 years ago. Wanted to pursue that, and then also wanted to get some locked-in experience at a good company. I took a position with Kaiser Permanente.
Oh, it's great.
Fun. I was an implementation specialist for IT, so I worked under their project and program managers, and worked along with them to provide a service. That could be imaging devices, that could be deploying specific software and managing it, administrating it, that could be rolling out. I think we did a 3-month deployment overnight for a majority of their work sites. We had to upgrade CAT cable, that includes server configuration, that includes device configuration after the fact. So running ping tests and trace routes and a few other things just to make sure that
while we're talking about that, can you talk about some of the tools that you use throughout the different roles that you serve, not serve, but I guess the different roles that you held? Like at Kaiser, you talked about trace route, just to give people an idea of what it's like to actually be in those roles and things they might want to get experience in.
Yeah, sure. So for the very first role of DoD contracting, a lot of it was deployment focused. So with that being said, we use things like Remedy as an ITSM solution. ITSM stands for Information Technology Service Management Solution. And it allows you to, and that's not the only name that ITSM is known by, but it allows you to pretty much project-based track your work. So, and there are several ITSMs out there. One of the most popular is ServiceNow, but Remedy is what we worked with. In regards to deployments, we did a lot of static deployments. So in regards to that, we didn't really use a dynamic server to deploy software. We built out a flash drive. We took that flash drive to a workstation. We deployed an image via that, which, you know, a majority of government devices use Windows. So
Easy day.
additionally, additionally, we had disks. So we would burn disks on some of those more secure facilities. We would use disks to deploy. In regards to healthcare administration, so I didn't only work with Kaiser, right? I worked with UCSD, Hillcrest, UCSD as an imaging informatics technician. So I got a little bit more of the clinician, physiologist, doctor, and radiologist side of things. Got to see what they were looking at. I got to assist them administratively with platforms such as ACFA. But starting out with Kaiser, so in Kaiser, we use Semantic Ghost for deployment. So it's more of a deployment center. So it's a platform. You have software that you build out into that platform, and then you deploy it out to devices. So, and then like as far as overall architecture is concerned, you could either pixie boot those devices by connecting a network cord to it, along with power, and just powering it on, and then hitting a magic key on the keyboard, and that'll allow it to pixie boot into the image, right? You can do a few other things with those types of deployments, but that's kind of how that was focused. Software deployment wise, a lot of that's managed through a console. So one of the most popular is SECM, where you can deploy applications directly through SECM after building it out and uploading it into the software from the server side. So you build it out, upload it, deploy it out to the nodes.
Can you let us know what SECM stands for, just in case we got anybody curious?
SECM, yeah, it's the system. That's a good question. I always get this wrong, and then I get it right, and get it wrong. It's the systems. I believe it's the Systems Center Configuration Manager, and it's under Microsoft. So it's under their umbrella of suited tools.
So if you guys are curious, just type in Google Microsoft SECM, and
there you go.
It'll take you right there. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, you can Google that. You can Yelp it. You can Bing it. But SCCM is a phenomenal console. It's also known from the end user side. So that SCCM is practically on the server side, but from end user side. So say you, Antoine, you're an end user. I'm an end user, right? We have our laptops in front of us. We want to get software from the SCCM. We would just type in software, for instance. That would pull up Software Center, and that's where the end user interfacing comes in.
Gotcha.
So some organizations may have a desktop client that says like SCCM delivery or SC. It depends on if they've made some modulations or built out. But that also depends on something called a service level agreement, which
SLA
defines how you use that software. And if you want to break it, you can, but then you'd be in violation of that SLA. So that's for those two softwares, those two organizations, and some of the unique softwares they use. One of the next organizations I worked with after UCSD, which was great. It was Rady Children's Hospital. I was there for about a year, and they used SCCM, all right, Software Center. They used it for asset deployment imaging, and then also software delivery. So software patching, software delivery, and software update. Another great tool they used was Dell Data Protection, which is a security modulated tool. So, and on the security side, you can go really in depth. I hadn't really touched it, so I don't really want to go into too much depth, but
Got you.
it can allow for mobile device management and device management as a whole. So if you have a laptop,
Mm-hmm.
act as a monitoring agent and security agent for that. And monitoring agent is pretty much just a piece of software that relays data back to a server node, and that server node is more than likely on an administrator's computer, and it allows them to track specific things based on the agreements that you sign and the agreements that you agree to by installing the software on your phone.
I love that.
So
thanks for bringing. Nobody's has spoke about MDM or that asset since I had the podcast. So that is cool.
Yeah. It's all written into policies that you sign. So when you first sign on with a company, you agree to something called the mobile device management policy and the acceptable use policy. And those two policies right there have all the fine print. If the company is doing everything right, they have all the fine print you need to understand what's happening with your device, right? And what privileges you might be giving up. So a lot of companies will include clauses in there that clearly state, do not use it for nefarious or inappropriate purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do not use it for deliberation or use it in any capacity that would cause spillage of company information, right? Even though they have protocols and security policies in place that kind of lock those devices in, such as Intune. Intune is a Microsoft initiated certificate related application you can install on your phone, and it kind of locks your phone down based on the company policy that's been deployed out to that phone.
Yeah. Okay.
So on the security side, it protects that phone. It also protects the company. It also protects you in case there's a bad actor out there that wants to infiltrate the company through your mobile device. So there's a lot of additional information we could discuss there, but I don't.
No, I think you laid it out perfectly.
Really want to touch.
Just so it's not too techy, because I know we got people at all levels. So I want to make sure everybody can stay with us. But you got me excited. Like that was a great breakdown.
To get warmed up. There are like additional softwares I've had experience with as I moved along, but these are some of the unique ones that I could definitely throw out there that during my course I've worked directly with. And so that was at Rady Children's Hospital. DDP, or Dell Data Protection, is a great tool to use. I've had some experience with Carbon Black in the past, and Silence Protect, I believe it was at the time. And Carbon Black is a security-related sensor that basically installs on devices, and it relays. It acts as a relay, so it's a service security agent. It acts as a relay for information back to a server node. And that's on a security analytics side, security monitoring, continuous monitoring, and security analytics side. So let's see. So next, after Rady Children's Hospital, took a position over at SDG&E and Sepro. And SDG&E and Sepro was pretty much everything all encompassed. They did use a software, a VPN software, which is virtually private network. So I've talked about all of the other softwares. They use all of that and then some. But from a security standpoint, another software I haven't really touched on is a virtually private network, or a VPN. So they use one of those, and there's so many out there, but one thing I could say about a VPN is use it. Definitely use it to your discretion. Me per se, one of the things I'm going to talk about later is the startup environment, and a new emerging technology company. You definitely want to incorporate that as a part of your work from home and or your remote planning structure. Have a good VPN laid out. There's Cisco VPN, there's Palo Alto, which has a Global Protect as a VPN, which is amazing, along with their next generation firewall. There's a few other VPNs out there. that are good, but those two right there, Palo Alto and um, Cisco's VPN client, are probably the best that I've had experience with. So San Diego Gas and Electric and Semper was great working there. VPN set aside, they're a great company. I was there for 2 years. They handle a lot of the critical infrastructure and the capacity of engineering power, or sorry, electrical power and gas-related power for all of southwestern San Diego. They partner with companies like Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, and a few other smaller companies, but they were a great company to work for.
I'm kind of curious. So just listening to your story, it sounds like you definitely been talking on some interesting technology and tools that help you throughout the career and be accomplished in those roles. And I was wondering, did you maintain a clearance or did you get? I'm sorry.
That's good.
Or did you get additional certifications along the way to help you, reach out a little bit more? Because I know you spoke on Security Plus as being something that really helped you, get inside of the contract and almost guarantee a job and a role. So with everything else that go ahead.
Yeah, so 2016, 2015, 16, I left, my fullest of capability with the military. Along with that, relinquished whatever security clearance I had. Now, considering I've had really good security clearances in the past, I can always be reevaluated, and for a certain amount of time, I can be reevaluated, and the security clearance be reactivated. Did I have one after 2015 through 2021, for instance? No. I focused on a lot of my pivots and a lot of my strengths in the working force is working within agreed upon SLA, so service level agreement. Always know what they are when you're taking a job, specifically in IT. So if you're in project management with IT, if you're a database administrator, if you're a server engineer, if you're a systems analyst, if you're a system administrator, security analyst, penetration tester, you have to know what your SLAs are. Because if you miss SLAs or you breach contract, your job could be over the next day. You want to make sure you know what they are to operate within them. Me, I've always been great with SLAs. I've always had a very unique working routine. I've always worked within the workflow that was set out for me. So that's never been an issue for me. That's never been an issue for me. So is parking meter guy. So he's just checking on me. I apologize. So
no, we're all good. I seen him walk up behind. I wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah. Audience, I'm sitting in the parking lot here. So
so we finished off.
You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you operate within those parameters. There's other documents out there that you may sign depending on what you're doing, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, depending on what you're doing, what you're focusing on. But generally, you want to focus within that. That helped me along the way. Outside of that, I did have a very good baseline from getting certified, and I've always been a fan of higher education, so I've always shot for that higher education through learning. The last 2 years, I've been finishing up my master's in cybersecurity engineering. So
congrats! I saw that.
Shooting for that and aiming to finish that up this year. I'll be finishing up in December. I'm a potential candidate for the school I'm with is University of San Diego. So if any of you guys are interested, connect with me, hit me up, ask me questions. I could fill you in. I could help you get recruited into the next cohort. I could connect you with the dean of professors, the executive director of the program. But I just had a conversation with him last night, and he informed me that they are actually looking into they're actually looking into starting a JD Law program with a focus of cybersecurity and governance and risk. So I told
Wow.
him that I told him that I'll be applying for that program, and I may be a part of the first cohort for that program. So pretty excited, but I'm definitely an open book as far as that's concerned. It's been fun learning things like Python, learning things like violent use of code to infiltrate and or to use against an organization, use of security tools that allow me to analyze, filter, packet trace, packet sniff, and monitor some of the activities that could actually happen both at the forefront of a company and in the background of a company. So learning that stuff is fun, but I think one of the biggest things that are missed out with the cybersecurity education is the factoid behind, or the factoids behind governance and risks and policies that you have to follow to make the company's security and cybersecurity as a whole operate. Without those parameters, or without focusing on them, you miss the bigger picture. So even though you're catching the small intrinsic file that was manipulated, or you caught an open port that should have been closed, it's what comes next. It's really important. It's documenting it. It's submitting it properly through the right channels. It's operating with the correct policy enforcement, not to breach or approach something incorrectly to make your company look bad, or to violate a government standard. All of that paints a really defined picture. So you have to operate within it. Outside of that, a degree such as what I'm going to be completing in the next 2 months will open additional doors. It already has opened additional doors for me. So that kind of covers my history as far as work history. I'm a little bit of an entrepreneur. So on the side, I'm into a few things, right? So outside of my full-time master's, and then full-time employment, I'm starting a tech security company here in San Diego. And one thing that kind of gave me the kick in the butt to actually do that was I attended the San Diego Startup Week.
Yeah.
It was a couple months ago. It was absolutely phenomenal. They talked about the REC Innovations Lab. So I signed up with the REC Innovations Lab, which is a part of the SDCCD, San Diego Community College District. And it's attached to Mira Mesa College. Within that, it's free. You apply. If you get accepted, it's free. You get access to great material. Tanya Hertz is she's the actual executive director of the program. She's absolutely phenomenal. Their entire staffing, all of the individuals that are part of the program, they built out a great program to help people such as you and me start our own companies and move in the direction of building a great annual rate of return. But that's not all. They help you build the facility. The aim is to generate that income to create a good business facility, because without a good business, financial facility or faculty, then you cannot accelerate. You cannot take your business to the next level. Your business will fail. You'll sit around for 10 years, maybe generate absolutely no income. The business is not really an asset. So they teach you how to value it as an asset, and then they teach you how to generate wealth through that, and then scale out additionally. They're great.
Do they have like a structured program to where like everybody, because I looked at it, looked like a cohort, of entrepreneurs going in at the same time. Do they have like, hey, look, this week we're going to talk about this, or is it based on your individual needs?
So so they have a structured program, and that program is broken out into tiers. but you can tackle whatever you'd like on your own time. They open it up for you to meet potential mentors. They open it up for you to answer all of your questions if you have them about business, about operating it, about building it, about registering it, from the smallest and simplest of questions to the most difficult. They're there to answer them.
I love it.
So they break it out for you. They teach you how to build. They teach you is the interesting word there. They teach you how to build a business from scratch, and then they teach you how to accelerate it. They also open up the doors to programs like Innovation City, which is kind of like an investment pitch contest, TCA, which is Tech Coast Angels, which is also a pitch-oriented contest, angel investing, venture capitalism, all of those interesting terms. You get to learn about them. You get to meet people that are in that capacity, that are willing to help you take your business to the next level. But and then the most important is Shark Tank. They actually have 2, possibly 3 pitch competitions per semester that they actually open up for you, where you can actually engage with Shark Tank. So you can apply. One of the co-producers and directors of Shark Tank is actually affiliated with the rec. So he wants to see people apply. He will directly engage with you so that you can be successful with something, something.
This sounds like it's too good to be true. I'm sitting here listening to you, and you said, from the simplest questions, and then providing that support, and then getting you in a position where you can have these mentors. What are some of the requirements? Do you have to already have something established, or is it just saying, hey, look, I want to start something, and I heard about, this awesome incubation, and I want to join? Like, how do people go about this?
It doesn't matter where you come from, just apply.
Hey, I love it. That is amazing. Yeah. It sounds like so much opportunity. So you
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, apply. If you're already at a pre-seed or a seed, C, B, A stage, applying there doesn't really make sense. You have something available called like an entrepreneur in residence, like UCSD has a program, entrepreneur in residence, which if you're already built the facility, you already have some money incoming, you already have some funds and stuff, jump into an EIR, in an entrepreneur in residence program. Jump into that. Jump into an accelerator. There are great accelerators out there like YC Combinator. I'm a part of YC. I love it. I think YC Combinator is great. If you jump into something like that, they can help you actually take it to the next level, where you're looking at, you could be looking at a $4 million seed round within the next 2 years. They'll actually help connect you with those individuals that you need to connect with. They'll help get you into right space. But all of this is not just easy peasy. You have to do the groundwork. You set up your business. You build the paperwork that facilitates that business. You develop an MVP. You hire people. You pull investors into your company because it's interesting. You're providing a solution to those other companies and individuals, and you show the importance of your company to them. You show the importance of your product to them. So when they ask you questions, you learn how to gauge them. You learn how to answer them. You build a pitch deck. That pitch deck highlights the importance of your company and how you can generate an asset out of that company. If you have a horrible pitch deck, if you cannot deliver, if you cannot speak to them directly about your product, it's not going to be viable. So there are things that are taught through a program like this, through an entrepreneur in residence, that actually teaches you the foundation and how to actually be a business professional, in an arena full of people who have championed business and have made tons of money doing it. They just want to give back to you, but you need to prove yourself. So it's kind of a challenge of wit. but you learn how to be witty through programs like an entrepreneur in residence, the REC incubator, accelerators. I mean, there's so many different programs, so much free money out there. If you really know how to look for it and you really look hard, you can find free money for your business. You can find people that are willing to actually co-found or grow your business with you. Um, just yesterday, I had a lunch club. Oh, guys,
A lunch
lunch
club?
club. Lunch Club is phenomenal. Get on it. Lunch Club is amazing. Clubhouse. I'm on it almost every other day, and it's addictive.
No way.
Um, these are applications that'll turn you on to people, will turn you on to things that you never knew existed. So definitely get on them and listen, because a lot of those people are speaking from truth. They're speaking about their process, their story, and one thing I haven't touched on is minority, right? Um, I'm sure we're all a minority in some manner. I'm sure a majority of the audience are minorities. Um, never undervalue yourself as a minority, because there are programs, there are things out there that will help you take the next step, no matter what you want to do with your life, no matter what stage you're at in your career or in your life. There are free programs out there. There's free money out there that will actually help you take the next step. So don't be shy. It's basically what I'm saying. Go out there and take what's yours. But
Man, you've been dropping all kind of jewels. Like, I wanted to ask you, because a lot of the stuff I haven't actually, like, I'm not on Clubhouse, and a lot of the resources that you dropped, including the Rec Innovation Labs, like, can we make sure that we get links, so we could not only connect the audience with you, but also with these amazing programs that this might be their first time hearing about this stuff? Because I definitely
I'd
think
love
that
to. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure we could take it offline, and I can give you a list of references and links and everything else. Whereas, and once again, anyone in the audience, you guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My email, my phone number is accurate on LinkedIn, so use it. Right? Contact me. You can message me on LinkedIn. Connect with me. It's perfectly fine. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking to get into startups, if you just have a general interest in technology, or if you're looking at going to school, stuff like that, hit me up. I love connecting people. I love connecting people with people, right? And programs with people and businesses with people. So if you are interested in any of
that,
just let me know. Yeah, let me know.
No, that is, I'll make sure that we put your contact and all the other information down in the show notes. Everybody, cool. Listen to Aaron, contact him, get with him and get with these programs. Man, I don't know if we're at the end or where we are. We're just cruising right now, to be honest with you, man. You've been like so captivating. I just been making sure I gave you the room to shine and, put your information out there. I know that I
appreciate it.
You are in your entrepreneurial phase. Are you balancing this with a 9-to-5, or are you just right now?
So I'm balancing I'm balancing it with 9-to-5. I'm balancing it with completing my graduate degree this year. And I'm looking into the JD Law, as I mentioned before, or a PhD program here in San Diego. So I'm also, a husband, so I balance it with married life. And my wife's into bodybuilding, and she's doing all this stuff on the side. So we kind of do our own thing, but we also love each other. And through that love, we support each other. So, while I'm out doing my thing, she supports me. When I'm at home, it's our time together. We spend time together, whether it's, the solid 8 hours a night, or if it's dinner and a movie and then solid 8 hours a night. We spend plenty of time together, and we cherish our time together. So it's important for all you, married couples, and all you guys that are just, boyfriend, girlfriend, or baby mama, baby daddy, whatever the case
wherever
is,
you may be at on the spectrum.
it's it's just enjoy your significant other. Don't take advantage. Enjoy your significant other. Appreciate the time that they commit towards their business ideas, towards their pursuits, and appreciate it, because you never know when that appreciation is going to fall back on you. And just enjoy life, right? After a pandemic and everything else we've gone through the last 2 years, we
100%.
deserve to enjoy life.
Everybody deserves to enjoy life. Like, you should wake up, because it's never promised. But hey, like, even right now, man, I love this conversation because it's positive vibes. Like, everybody, it attracts like energy. So if you could smile, it's always better than turning it upside down. So keep it that way. And yeah, I love everything you said, talking about, supporting the family members and, your significant others. Like my wife, she's a designer, and man, her business is just booming, and it's amazing. But all that is support, because she supported me through my transition too. Like, she seen me as sailor, she seen me as sales, she seen me as the IT. Now she's just like, whatever you're doing, it stick with it. So, but
there you go.
But no, that is so important, man. I know we didn't talk too much about your particular business, but is there anything that us as the audience, as just people that want to connect and see each other do better, is there something that we could do to help you out, whether that's bring in more mentors or bring in more whatever? I want to make sure that we can support you.
Yeah. So my company's, it's new, relatively young. I'm still in the process of building out the website and stuff, but the company name is QuantXero. So it's a play on words, and with quantum, right? With quantify is a security related schema, quantifying risk, quantifying reason. So quant and then zero. That's it. The website's going to be QuantXero.io. It's got SSL and TLS enabled, which are security features. They're attached to a website link per se, and authentication of that link with people who are trying to access it. So feel free to browse to it, but it's not active yet. It should be active by October. October 1st is my official launch date with the business. So San Diego Startup Month is happening all of October. So I plan to launch it on October 1st.
That's smart.
Along with, jumping into San Diego Startup Month. And then there'll be heavy marketability. And I am looking for people who would like to engage in it as an intern, as a part-time employee right now. And then next year sometime, I'll be looking into full-time employment status. But feel free to reach out to me if you have any interest in it. I'm also looking for a co-founder or somebody that would like to sit on my board of directors and give me input and maybe play a part in how the structure of the business is built out. So feel free to contact me at any point in time in regards to that.
Growth. You hear this, people? Look, see, Aaron came on as a guest to talk about his story. Now he's giving out opportunities. Like, let's connect. Let's do it. This is real boss stuff. Man, I love this. I think we are about at the end right now. And the last question I did is there a question that you wish I asked that I didn't? And I think we might have some today, just because I didn't ask too many questions. I let you steer a lot.
To be honest, a lot of those questions would probably center around with how, not really why. So I've discussed why, I've discussed where, I've discussed when. So I think the only other thing is how, and I think we're going to address that through direct interaction with the audience. So I'm going to supply you with additional information. You said you were going to add that to the channel. So as you add that, I'm sure people are going to use it. Also, if anyone wants to contact me, definitely do that, right? And I'll help you establish the how. And maybe if you're looking for a why, why I should get into this, but you're interested, let me know. I might be able to help guide you in that path so that you can find your way. And I love technology. So if you're interested in a new emerging technology, specifically security focused, definitely hit me up.
Awesome. So, man, it was a great conversation. I want to let everybody know we're extending this conversation out to you guys too, or you ladies. So when I do drop this, flood it with comments, ask questions, talk, engage, stay positive, and get that good energy out. Man, this has been a great conversation. This is the first cyber chat I've done in about 2 months, man. So this is a good coming back for me, and it was a great audience and a great guest speaker. Can you just tell everybody exactly what your LinkedIn is so that they can go if they're just listening to it and they don't have the app, they're not clicking on anything right now?
Yeah. So in regards to LinkedIn, just look up Aaron Jaeger in San Diego. LinkedIn has a smart filter. So you can put in Aaron space Jaeger, which is Jaeger. My first name is Aaron. That's Aaron space, my last name, space, and then just put in like USD, right? And I believe I'm the only like Aaron Jaeger at USD right now. So if you put in space USD, I'll pop up. You can also, you can also put. I just added a comma. What is it? MECSE. Yeah, because it's a master's in engineering for cybersecurity engineering. So it's under the Shiley Marcos School of Engineering here at USC. But basically, you can put that comma and then put MECSE, and then you'll be able to find me. In a couple of years, I'm going to be adding either JD Law, or I'm going to be adding PhD there, and then you'll be able to find me. So
yeah, then you're really gonna be the only one out there, man. I love this progress. Yeah, hey, it's been a great conversation, man. Hey, everybody, stay in contact. Let's show this man some love. He had a great story, and he definitely wanted to give back to the community, so let's keep it fly. Hey, this has been Cyber Chat with Antone Matthews with our guest Aaron. I always say, if you like it, tell a friend to tell a friend. Talk soon.